So many people that I've been talking to, all the clients that I've seen and all the sessions that I've had, a lot of the times people get stuck in their story. Myself included, we all get stuck on like what was and what we've been through and what traumas happened to us. And so when I talk about changing your story to something that you actually wanted to see, or changing the story to have a different outcome in the now, is that gaslighting yourself. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we don't want to be in denial of what happened to us, or, gaslight yourself into thinking that that wasn't the case or that didn't happen. So there's a big difference between changing your story and pretending like something didn't happen. When you have done all of your healing work, when you have brought things to your conscious awareness, when you have acknowledged what happened to you, when you have brought in more surrender and acceptance to the fact that this is what happened and this is the result of those events in my life, and this is how I am right now because of it, then that's awesome. You're doing that healing work. But no amount of continuation of that kind of work is going to take you to the next level of actually getting a different reality and a different life. You could keep going to Reiki, you can keep going to classes, you can keep attending seminars and keep coming to therapy and telling me the same thing week after week and, month after month. But the story that you keep telling yourself is the energy that you're in. So once that story is out and it's acknowledged and the awareness is there and what happened to you is horrible and, you've worked through the different layers of that, and everything is conscious, then now it's time to create a different feeling and a vibration and an energy of the now so that you can actually get the things that you want in your life and see them show up. So, you're not denying it. You're not in a place of spiritually bypassing what happened by, with false positivity or only good vibes. That's my least favorite term, is good vibes only. Every time I see that, I gag because that's ridiculous. You have to acknowledge the suck. You have to acknowledge the crap that happened. You have to bring it to conscious awareness. So sometimes you have to feel it in order to heal it. Other times, some things can just be deleted from your unconscious with certain techniques. However, you have to acknowledge those things are crappy in order to see the change. Once you've done that, you do a little bit of work in the conscious mind with a visualization, imagination, being in a state emotionally where you want to be right now. So, as long as you are revisiting the other stuff over and over, you're reliving that state. You're reliving that state again and again and again and again. And I myself did it all the time. I was like, oh, I've done all the work on this thing, but it's still here. Why? Because I was still telling the story. I was still, saying that this happened and saying that that happened. And I was still in the story. So once I was like, wait a second, I need to revise that story, I went back and created a different scenario in my mind and then seen a different outcome, which created a different feeling, which then obliterated any type of negativity surrounding it because I had no longer the same belief anymore. When you are in trauma and when things happen in your life, you formulate beliefs as a result. Seeing somebody, leave as a parent when you're little, I'm always going to be left. I'll always be abandoned and walked out on. So then you see that your whole life and you wonder why. And it's because you're still in the energy of that story. So, you're going to keep seeing those repetitive patterns as long as you're afraid of it. As long as you still say, hey, that's my story. As long as you're saying like, I'm reliving this all the time, then, you're going to still be in that. But if you say, hey, well, I don't know any other way. Of course you don't know any other way, but you can imagine a different way. And that's where the power is, in the imagination. The power is within you all the time to create something different. So go back into the event that happened. Okay, they left. my mother or father left. Okay. So create a different scenario surrounding it. Okay, they left and I was happy anyhow, and I felt amazing, and I had an enriching life, and I had this experience and that experience. You can create that in your imagination. You're not gaslighting yourself as if it didn't happen, because you already acknowledged it, but you can go in and create a different story, which creates a different you in the now. And I know it sounds wild, but it works. It's effective, and it frees you, from the prison of always being on the healing journey, always telling the same story. As long as you keep doing that, you're going to be in that story, or you're always going to be in healing mode. And who the hell wants to be in healing mode perpetually? I was real tired of being in fucking healing mode. No, Chris, you don't lie to yourself. You know the truth. You already done acknowledge the truth. What else do you got to do? Sit there and say, all right, I'm going to sit in this energy over and over. It's called a revision. Oh, my underwear's out. I got some boxers on, some male boxers too. And I really don't care, because I've also discovered that I'm pretty non-binary. So that's like a new discovery. Let me just get my boxers out the equation though. So, you don't lie to yourself. You don't gaslight yourself and say this didn't happen. You acknowledge it. You're aware of it, you accept it, and now you take a different action. So in order for you to create a different action, you create different mental scenarios, because you have the power to do that. So if you no longer could believe that you're a worthless piece of shit because someone left you, how would you then feel? Well, you'd feel pretty great. You'd feel pretty awesome. You'd feel happy. You'd feel wonderful. You would feel like connecting with others. You would feel like doing a great job at something. You'd feel like people appreciated you. And guess what would show up as a result? That, as long as you're in the story of this is what happened to me and it's so sad and, this sucked and this made me who I am, then you're always going to be there. You're always going to be on the process of trying to heal it. Let's put more energy into healing work. No, yes, you need therapists and counselors and guides and people that do healing work and energy work and things like that to get you to awareness, to get you to acceptance, to get you to the place where you're connecting with the power within, and then you're ready for the next level. But until then, what I'm saying is going to be mumbo jumbo. But if you're at that point and you're like, all right, I've done all this healing work, why has my life not shown up differently? Then hit me up, because that's something that is the next level, You got to manifest that shit. Jessica, absolutely, because me and you manifest all the time. Jessica is somebody that'll say, hey, Teresa, that migraine's going to be gone in 7 minutes. In exactly 7 minutes, you're going to start to feel better. And she puts that out there, and then I agree to that, and then it's now agreed upon in my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind has no choice but to listen to me, and it 100% works for us every time, don't it? Jess, don't it? Every time. Every time. You can manifest short term and you can manifest long term, and people are like, oh, if I manifest, am I, manipulating? No, you're not manipulating. You're not gaslighting yourself. You're not manipulating yourself or anybody else. You are stating, this is what is going to happen in my life, and this is how I am feeling right now. And then you will create that circumstance, because you are the creator of your reality with the Holy Spirit inside of you. The power of God is given to you. You can do these things that I can do and even greater. He has given you the power to do it, and you just sit there on your ass and say, God, help me. Please come down from heaven and help me. What? He already done told you could do it. So why are you sitting here? Something that I didn't get, before. So anyhow, no. You can recreate a scenario and not be lying to yourself or gaslighting yourself. You know what happened? But do you really want to stay in that energy for the rest of your life? Do you always want to be healing your childhood abuse and neglect and wound and, your first relationship gone wrong and, all these terrible experiences? No. Do you want to stop being a people pleaser? Do you want to stop being a fixer? Do you want to stop being Captain Save-A-Ho? Do you want to stop, finding your worth through all these things that I mentioned? Do you want to stop worrying about abandonment and worrying that you're going to get left and worrying that people are going to think bad of you and worrying you're going to feel guilty if you don't do this and say that? Then if you want to drop all that, then you have to go and you have to create something different, and you have to go in and ask yourself the questions and do the releases and do the work in order to get there as well, because you have to bring this stuff into your awareness. Yep, I'm going to have a good day. And you do. And you block all that other shit out because it's got to go back. Right, exactly. Your mind is a powerful tool, and everybody lets their mind run them all day long. And, it's like it's running amok. So you got to get control of that shit for sure. I hope y'all watch this, and I don't want to make it too long and go on, but I'm glad that some of y'all were live and participating because these are really important points. And if you want to learn how to do this, let me know. I do sessions with this all the time. If you just want to investigate it for yourself, all you got to do is start bringing some of this stuff to your conscious awareness and saying, all right, I am no longer going to be this. Thank you, subconscious mind, for letting me know that I feel like a victim and I feel not enough. Great. So why do I feel not enough? Okay, all these things have happened to me and I acknowledge it, I accept it. However, I'm not going to put my energy into the remembrance of those things any longer. I'm going to put them into scenario that I want to see. How awesome is that? And people coming into my life, people leaving my life, people will always be with me. I will always be loved. I will always be accepted. I will always be desired. I will always be connected. And I freely share my love, right? People, red flags and whistles go off. Oh my God, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. Because why? Because you have proof of all the stuff that happened before. But you got to stop and say, nope. Sorry, thanks for warning me, subconscious, but I'm now in the flow of the now. I'm now in the flow of this feeling, of this creation. I'm 100% confident. I'm 100% successful, and I know it. Confidence. Creating confidence. As soon as something happens and you feel like it busts down your confidence, then you have to look deeper. I just looked a whole shit ton deeper into myself about gender identity and decided that I was stuffing a lot of stuff about judging my own self about, certain gender roles and, conforming to certain things. And I was like, wait a second, you know what? I'm not going to do that to myself anymore. And I'm going to just go ahead and be open about that and be like, yeah, I'm both and it's not an embarrassing thing. It's got to be something that's out there. But when it frees me up, because it made me stop believing certain things, in past experiences, in my past, if you were, younger years in the late 90s, early 2000s, if you were gay, a lesbian, then that was it. You were just a lesbian. Like there was no transgender. It's just, you're just a lesbian. No, I realized that mine had nothing to do with sexuality, that mine had everything to do with gender identity, but I really wasn't sure about that till the past few years of exploration, and being so grateful to the younger generation. Thank you, younger generation under 33, because you guys have really brought this out and enabled everyone to be able to look at things in a different way. So I'm so grateful for your pushing forward on that for us. It's awesome. But, it helped all of us to accept certain parts of ourselves and come out. It's like a second coming out. Pretty amazing, which I'll speak about gender. I'm still working that stuff out within myself, actually. It's just a phenomenal thing. But anyhow, if you have questions about this, type them in the comments. Let's chat. It's a great topic. So get out of the perpetual healing journey. Stop always healing from your past and start creating a new life. You can do it. Renewal of the mind. Look in the Bible. The Bible and the Gospels tell you everything you need to know about this.